Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Alaska. That's right, the other supercruiser that was buffed. Let's see how she does, shall we? You know, if there's one thing that I could say about the Alaska is that it really lacks in the survivability department, right? Like if you've ever shot at an Alaska, you go, man, this thing is just made of a citadel that you just absolutely destroy them every single time you shoot at them, right? Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. If you didn't pick up on that, maybe go eat some Cheerios. Anyway, we're gonna take the Alaska out for a romp. You guys know I love this ship. There's nothing wrong with the Alaska. I don't think it needed a buff, just like I don't think Stalingrad needed a buff. I don't think Monarch needed a buff. There's quite a few ships that got a buff this time that I personally don't think needed it, but you know, if they're gonna buff good ships and make them better, why not take advantage of it, take them out there and fight people and see just how nasty these ships can be. Now again, I do not recommend that anybody play the ships the way I do. I say this all the time, but I just like to reiterate, because I get a lot of feedback in the comment section. There's a couple of different people that feedback. One is, Spartan, you just don't know how to play the ship because, look, it's a cruiser, it's supposed to use cover, you're supposed to be back here, you're supposed to do this, you're not using anything correctly. Go watch Chili Games, go watch A-Run so that you know how to play a cruiser. For the love of God! I know how to play a cruiser, believe it or not. I know it's crazy. I've got, like, I don't know, 12,000 games played or something at this point. I've played a lot of battleships, cruisers, destroyers. I don't play carriers. If there's one ship that you guys should tell me how to play in the comment section, it is a carrier, because I suck at carriers. I'll admit it. It's just the way it is. But when it comes to cruisers, when it comes to battleships, especially super cruisers and heavy cruisers and battleships, I have a pretty good feel for how to play them. I just tend to play a lot more aggressively than most people do. And the reason for that is because nobody wants to sit here and watch a video of 15 minutes of me sitting behind an island spamming HE. Right? Not exactly what I call entertaining gameplay. So I like to make it a lot more interesting by putting myself in sketchy positions. But I'm still not an idiot when I do this. I know there are multiple cruisers and a battleship ahead. So what do? I slow down. I get ready to peek the corner. There's no reason to rush out here. I've got a battleship and a cruiser behind me. I got a destroyer in the cap. This is a beautiful setup, right? We've got everything we could ever ask for. We've got a potential torp cross, so if they decide to come out, they're going to walk into torps. We've got a battleship here for some extra firepower and tankiness to help take some of the hits. We've got the cruiser behind us, presumably for some extra DPM. So here we come around the corner, we shoot at the superstructure of the Stalingrad. Remember, Stalingrad also just got buffed, and one of the things that they buffed is they reduced the amount of hit points allocated to the superstructure. What does this mean? It means that you can't farm the superstructure the way you used to on Alaska and Stalingrad. Both of them got the same buff, essentially. They had the hit points to the superstructure reduced, so you're no longer going to be able to do the ridiculous amounts of damage to these ships while they're bow in by farming superstructure. If you've ever seen me play the Montana and seen me just absolutely ruin Alaskas that are bow in because they think they're invincible and we just farm their superstructure until they die, you know what I'm talking about. But now they're going to get saturated much sooner, which means you're going to get reduced damage much sooner, which means it's going to take longer for you to take them out. But we are going to put ourselves in a pretty precarious position here in a little bit. But you'll see why, and you'll see just how effective this ship can be in these positions, which is why I always talk about these super cruisers. The biggest thing that you want to do, use their speed, their concealment, their maneuverability, put themselves in good positions to create crossfires for the team. We will do just that once we get rid of this Stalingrad. Alright, Stalingrad is nasty. And while the enemy British battlecruiser is sitting behind the island, you see the Duncan over there. I know, I call it the Duncan. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. I know it's the Duncan, okay, it's the Duncan. Let's go get some donuts. But we take some shots with HE trying to get some fires. And you'll see why I don't really shoot HE out of this thing. Like, you just don't get the fires that you need, right? Like, it's not an HE spammer. This is an AP spammer. You, more often than not, will be using AP out of this thing. If you're not, then you really need to consider switching once in a while. Because I'm telling you, the AP on these, both the Stalingrad and the Alaska, is absolutely phenomenal. And Alaska in particular has ridiculous penetration angles, which allow you to just absolutely destroy anyone who over-angles. Now here, Stalingrad, we've already got fire on him finally. We got a perma-fire, so we're going to aim high with some AP. Watch this accuracy. Look at that accuracy. How can you say that this is a bad ship? It's not. It's ridiculous. But enemy Duncan, hiding behind the island. I've got a destroyer on the outside, so I'm thinking, okay, destroyer's probably going to be trying to torp the Duncan, or at least keeping him at bay. I need to go ahead and help my team with this broadside Yamato. So I'm going to use the island to shield me from the Duncan, put myself in a bow-in position towards the Yama, so that I have my guns ready to go, so that I don't potentially make myself an easy target for the Yama as well. Because we all know, Yama can just say goodbye to anybody at any given time. Now this first shot, looking at the Yama here, I wish I had not done this exact thing. You can see I pinged the map, but I see the shot hit. I only got 2,500, which seemed a little low. But if you look, he's actually starting to turn and reverse away from us, angling slightly, which allows a lot of these shells to end up falling a little bit short. A couple of shells that do hit, obviously, they do some serious damage. Alaska out there is just running for the hills. And this is exactly how you lose matches in domination. If your entire team refuses to do anything about capturing bases or even trying to contest bases, you're gonna lose. It's just a matter of time. This Des Moines, my teammates were asking for some support here. He's over-angled. I've got a beautiful look, and that's decent accuracy. It's not the best, but look at where it lands on the ship. It is absolutely gorgeous. Bonk! There goes a third of the man's health. And we didn't even Citadel him. Imagine if any of those were Citadels. Now, pay attention to the minimap, because I know those guys are back there, right? Like, we can't just sit here and think, well, we're going to spam AP at these guys across the map and let these guys outside of us do whatever they want. They're going to eventually decide to come after me. It's just a matter of time, so we have to pay attention, right? Paying attention to the minimap is huge, and I don't know how many times I got to say it. I see a lot of people get caught off guard because they get tunnel vision on the thing they're shooting at and they're not paying attention to what's going on around them. Beautiful shot there into the superstructure. You can see I am starting to aim higher. I'm getting more of those pins. More shells on target. I take the shot here at the Yama to try to finish him off just in case somebody leaves him alive. And in fact, they do. So we managed to slip the shot in and finish him off, giving us our first kill. Now, we got 70,000 damage. It's not the greatest game I've ever had in the Alaska, but we've done our job. We've helped hold our side against a huge resistance, let's be honest. There was the Stalingrad, there's the Duncan, there's a Saint Louis out here, and there is a Montana over here now. So there is a lot of firepower on this side of the map. And for all intents and purposes, I am all alone. The battleship died very early on. I don't know what he did. I'm assuming there was some poor damage control involved. Another thing we talk about all the time is just managing your damage controls as best you can. Now, Montana's going to come around the corner here, and I have to wait. I don't have the firing arc of, you know, Balti or Wichita or Des Moines or any of those ships, Cleveland's, any of those. Worcesters. So I have to wait until I have clear line of sight. I get the shot out, and he immediately destroys one of my front turrets. First shot out, he destroys my turret. He did turn in just enough to avoid getting slapped when he came around the corner, so well played by him. We ended up hitting his belt and shattering 4 shells. Now here, I take a shot, and I feel like I got robbed there. Like, we went right through the turret cheek, or like right there in the cheek by the turret. I feel like we got robbed on that salvo, and I knew I needed to get turned, but this man had a really good reload time on this Montana. But now, he's broadside on, we get a Citadel. Should have gotten multiples there. I mean, we're shooting at the waterline of a Montana at point blank. But we knew we beat his reload as well, and so we're just waiting for our chance to finish him off, and of course, we do finish him off with a double Citadel. That's when Duncan decides to show up. But notice on the minimap, Saint Louis didn't just follow these guys around the corner. He actually doubles back, creates the crossfire, right? We talk about it all the time. But we take a shot here, get a double Citadel on the Duncan, but unfortunately the DPM of the guy behind us is just too much. We're done. I was really hoping to get the rear turret on target too, to maybe finish off the Duncan, but we didn't quite pull it off. But you can see just how strong these ships can be. You can hold back so much with these supercruisers, as long as you're not a complete goober. right? Like you can hold back a lot. Limit who shoots you as much as you can, but for the most part, you're going to be able to do some serious damage. Now, imagine if our Sumner had actually gotten into a position to potentially torp these guys earlier. I mean, you got 2 battleships and a cruiser sitting behind an island for a while. I radared them to try to give the destroyer the idea, hey, you know, these guys are all clustered up behind the island. They don't really have anywhere to go. Now would be a good time to drop some torps in there. Not wanting you to get yourself killed, but if you've got somebody, like a group of ships clustered together like that, it is the ideal situation. And plus, they're up against the island. Where are they going to go, right? It's pretty easy to lead those torpedoes. But Des Moines, this is unexcusable. I'm sorry. I'll give the destroyer some props. At least he's up in the fight. He was shooting. He was using his smoke screen. He was doing his job. This Des Moines has done nothing for the entirety of this game. This guy has literally just sat here in the backfield just watching this entire game unfold. Imagine having the DPM of the Des Moines on your side to help get rid of the Stalingrad early, to help get rid of the Montana when he charged forward, the Duncan who was over-angled. Like, Des Moines has no trouble citadeling battleships. It really doesn't. If you've ever watched me catch Yamas and stuff broadside at decently close range, you can absolutely ruin Yamatos. They're going to shoot you back, but you're going to ruin them. They get one shot, you get all the shots. So if they stay over-angled, you will absolutely out-DPM a Yamato to death. And it's no different for really any battleship that you come up against, let alone cruisers. If he had pushed forward, maybe he helps with the San Luis who's coming around the corner. You know, things like that. Little things like that that you got to look forward to. If you're not utilizing any of your hit points during the match, you're probably playing way too passively. So just try to see what's going on around you. Try to put yourself in positions that you can help your team. And sometimes it may behoove your team, may be better for your team if you move up and help take some of the fire away, the enemy ships, take some of their fire support away from the one person that's holding everything. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I want to hear it. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.